I'm honored to be here this evening, and I want to thank the persons who nominated me for this honor, and to the foundation for granting this honor. I also want to thank my family for their support during my career. I want to begin with an anecdote of how I became a city attorney. In 1972, I was a brand new lawyer with zero experience in local government, period. Um, I was in my office waiting for that big case to walk in, and I received a call from one of my law school professors who told me he was the acting temporary city attorney for Bethany, and he was anxious to exit that position and wanted to know if I would be interested in that job. I told him yes. He arranged for an interview, and I was hired at the interview. At the second city council meeting I attended, there was a contentious issue on the agenda regarding a rezoning of property for a large apartment complex. The council chambers was full up, standing room only, with protesters against the rezoning. The council member seated next to me at the vote on the rezoning cast the deciding vote to approve the rezoning. And without warning, a rather belligerent looking man stood up in the audience and shouted, "Judas, here are your 30 pieces of silver." And he threw 30 dimes at the council member, hitting us both. And obviously I was somewhat dumbfounded, but after that happened, the mayor wisely called a recess, and the audience, of course, was applauding, booing, and hissing. And after I sort of gained my sense about me, I crawled around, picked up those dimes, thinking that that'll buy a hamburger, fries, and a Coke. So that was the beginning of my career in Bethany. I retired from Bethany 46 years later, and had a very good career there. The much of my knowledge in local government has come from many mentors I've known over the years. Many I'm sure that you're all familiar with. Um, Bill Boyer was mentioned. I worked with Bill for many years in a lot of different places. And also, I've gained a lot of knowledge in my careers from OML, from the Association of Municipal Attorneys, and the Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund. Um, Nobody comes into local government knowing everything there is to know. You've got to have mentors to bring you up to speed and keep you up to speed with what's going on. I estimate that in my years of municipal service, I've attended more than 4,000 public meetings, most of them in the evening, many of them lasting past midnight. Some of those meetings were good. Some of those meetings were bad, but some were ugly. And I'm sure all of you have experienced that variety. What I've tried to do in my career is to make each meeting I've attended a learning experience. And over the years, I learned about things that I couldn't even imagine. I learned about personnel, fire, police, water, sewer, um, collective bargaining, and just a myriad of things that I never knew that I even needed to know. Um, I think the most important thing I learned in my career was when to listen and when to talk and when not to talk. That can be very important too. During my career, many changes have taken place in local government. This will kind of give you an idea of how old I am because since I began, there have been a lot of changes regard to the laws we all deal with, um, civil rights liability for municipalities happened during my career, the beginning of it, the Open Meeting Act, the Open Records Act, the Governmental Tort Claims Act. I saw the inception of all those laws. And in addition to those changes, every year there are changes at both the federal and state level that affect local government. And each public official, I think, has an obligation to avail themselves of the educational opportunities that are out there, including those from OML, to keep aware of those challenges. During my career, I have served with many inspired and have been inspired by many dedicated public officials, and I salute those who chose to serve in the public service for municipalities. Interestingly, in my career, I've served with several multi generational public officials. For instance, at Piedmont, I served with Mayor George Fina, and then with his son, Mike Fina. And then with Oklahoma Municipal Retirement Fund, I served with James Luckett and now serve with his son, James Luckett Jr. And in Bethany, I served with Troy Freeman and then with his son, Craig Freeman. So I think perhaps public service runs in the blood with those families. At an early age, I was taught to respect all people, regardless of their station in life, until by their actions I showed you they weren't entitled to that respect. And I've tried to follow that philosophy in my career, and it's served me well. And I think with the troubling times that we're all in now, civility and respect need to take a front seat and help the entire. Actually, our nation uh, can use a real boost to those two things, and hopefully, each of us can, in our own way, help to achieve that. My motto as a public official has been to be the best you can be in all of your endeavors and to show respect and civility in dealing with others. Uh, One final anecdote. I was asked when I was notified of this meeting to limit my comments to 3 minutes. However, I was warned by my friend Robert Johnston that at that 3 minute mark, a trap door would fall open and I'd disappear. So, since I'm still standing here, I guess I'm at the 3 minute mark or the door stuck, one of the two. Thank you.